Attention. Shameless social media plug.
Erik Nagel is on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and reluctantly, Snapchat. So follow, like, and subscribe. Would you kindly? It's Erik Nagel. It starts now.
What up, my Nagel? 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 Talking about George R.R. Martin, not writing. Talking Marvel versus DC, who's more exciting? Talking George Lucas's legacy, high-scoring centipede. Talking Gittles' new beef burrito recipe. Talking about Stephanie McMahon versus Sable. Talking about the Cybermen versus the Weeping Angels. Don't blink, the dialect's more deadly than you think. Talking summer ale, blueberry pale, craft beer, pouring drinks. What up, my Nagel? Deadpool 2 features cable. Talking Funko Pop, celebrity signed a label. Talking online gaming, bitchin' and complaining. Talking E-Rock, kissing the feet of Matt Groening. Warner Brothers properties, Superman's a mockery. Weird Al conscious, Kevin Smith's debauchery. Rick and Morty fun zone. The Lego build team, can I have your attention? Possible Donkey Kong kill screen. What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel?
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
Erik Nagel.
Are we ready? Did you press record?
Are you sure?
We did.
Sure.
We did.
Did you record him pressing record?
We have video evidence.
Hello, welcome to a recorded edition of It's Erik Nagel. That is me. Over to my right, as always, is Matt O.G.
Hello.
And the upside down is Gittles.
Howdy.
Congratulations on your multiple times raise for season 3 of Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm trying my hardest.
Right.
Being a cousin of a demigorgon, you only get so much.
Right, but I hear they bumped you up to 250,000 now.
Now tell us.
250,000 grains of rice. That's
Right.
all I get.
But Millie Bobby Brown gets 350,000.
When you have to put on the Demigorgon dog suit, how is it? Is it hot? Is it a long and lengthy process to get into that suit, or
It's rough.
it's rough? Yeah. 6 hours of prosthetics.
Ugh, yeah. Barking up the wrong tree with that one.
Oh.
And our producer Trevor Endeavor is sitting over in the back there.
Hooray!
Hi, how are you? Welcome to the show. Lots to do, lots going on. Don't know where we should start. We'll get into the box office and everything in the second segment, but anybody see Pacific Rim, the new one?
I have not yet seen it. I
Not
really,
yet.
really want to. I've heard a couple of people complain about it, although their complaints seem to be exactly what I want to see, so I think I'm going to be all right.
Right. I was talking to Gittles before the show. What I heard was that if you just want to see robots and monsters fighting, it's great, which that's all I want to see.
Right.
They said there's really no story to even have a plot hole in and all the major characters that you liked in there aren't part of the movie. And I said, if there's robots and monsters, that's really all I care about.
I've heard that. I've heard if you've liked the first one, you'll like the second one. So
I've seen half of the first one, so I'll probably definitely like half of the second one.
All right.
All my friends who saw Pacific Rim 2 who told me about it said they loved it. They said it was great. They said they had the continuity between the stories to explain how the kaiju come back to Earth. So he said there's a lot of good story building and world building. So I'm interested to see it.
See, there you go. I'm excited for it.
I will probably go
And my
see
one
it.
friend, he's like, dude, one of the Jaegers has a laser sword. I'm like, fuck yeah, sold. Laser sword,
Yeah.
yep, done.
We're back to Halo.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the show, we're going to have to figure out a way to give away this.
Oh.
It's a copy of the original Pacific Rim movie signed by Ron Perlman.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
So we'll figure out a way later
Call
in
right
the
now.
show. Yes,
Yeah.
call and good luck.
That's right.
Be dialing.
It's the first. This is also the first episode we've had in a few weeks where there's no snow in the beginning of the show.
That is true.
Don't jinx us.
We have.
I'm wearing a jacket. I don't want to walk outside to a blizzard.
It is
later.
raining right
It's
now,
snowing.
so it's a gradual.
No, the rain has stopped.
The rain
It
has
did.
stopped,
The
yes.
rain did, in fact,
Now we just have
stop.
fog.
Well, it was raining today, so it's still a gradual climb to get to spring.
Yes. Yeah, it was in the 50s today.
55 according to the car there.
I'll take it.
I'm waiting for the first 60-degree day.
We had that 2 months ago.
We had it,
Yes,
like 2
back
months
in
ago,
February.
dude.
But no, because I have a lot of cleaning outside I need to do. I have some power washing that needs to happen.
There's still some Christmas things underneath snow we didn't pull out yet.
Well, technically there is, because I took everything off before all the snow started, like right after New Year's.
Right.
Matt did it too. We raced to get everything down because I think there was snow coming. All the pegs that had some of the Christmas lights are frozen in the ground, so I just left them in the ground.
Yeah.
I have to go around and
Just
pull
looks like
all
you
those
stabbed
out.
your lawn for no reason.
Yes, there's just big black stakes in the ground. So
Vampire lawn.
Yeah.
Yes. So I got to pull all that away. And
Stay away.
all that fun stuff. So anyway, so let's start off with Toys R Us, give you a quick update on that, and then move on to some other pressing issues. So we've been following the Toys R Us situation for a while. People are kind of upset that it's going away because, look, nostalgia, it's part of a lot of people's childhood, but as more and more details come out, you reveal how poorly this company was run, and that the investors that bought into the company not too long ago waged their debt against more debt, and then all of a sudden the collectors came calling and said, no, it's time to pay everything out, and it's totally destroyed this company.
Yeah, they owe Hasbro like was it 100 or 50 something million, I think, and they owe Mattel like 20 million. It's something like that. I'll get the exact numbers while we're talking.
It's horrible for all parties involved. So we have been telling you about when they announced the initial round of store closings. It was about 230 something, somewhere around there.
Like all the UK stores and then 230 here or something like that.
Right. And, they were doing full-on liquidation sales to the point where there's this one big Toys R Us that Matt and I went to in New Jersey that had like 60 to 70% off certain things, and they were selling the fixtures, the cabinets, all this, any kind of security device.
Can you get the R? From the Toys R Us? We should get the R.
That would be pretty awesome.
You know what? Let's go back.
Listen how bad it is. It's so bad who they owe money to, like toy maker wise, that there's actually a comprehensive list that has now been published online. So they owe Mattel 135 million. They owe Hasbro almost 60 million. Spin Master 32 million. Legos 31 million. Jack's Pacific 14 million.
Boston Specific.
It goes all the way down to Crayola, who they owe just almost $3 million to Crayola.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they made out.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're never going to see it.
No.
Yeah, they ain't
Never.
seen that.
Never.
You know what? If they get a bunch of those Coca-Cola cans where it's $5 off.
There you go.
Yeah, just save a whole bunch of them and then give them a check with the Coca-Cola cans to offset the balance.
There you go.
And that's one creditor down. 12 more to go.
12 more to go, yeah.
So those original stores that were being liquidated and everything are pretty much piecemeal at this point. Then they announced that the rest of the stores were going to follow the same trajectory there. So
Fate.
as of we recorded last week, we thought that day was supposed to be the day the sale started. It turns out it wasn't. It turned out to be the next day, that Friday. Went to go look at the stores. It's 10% off most things, 5% for Legos, and some other things not on sale
They owe
at
Lego
all.
a lot of money, so they can't be selling that shit for more than 5% off.
Well,
Actually, they're charging double just so they can.
Yeah.
but you see signs that says up to 30% off, but I didn't see anything there that said.
You know what the 30% off was?
Bratz
It
dolls.
was birthday cards and wrapping paper. I'm not even joking. That's what the
man.
30% products were. It was birthday cards and wrapping paper.
You can get like.
They don't even know how to go out of business right.
You're doing this wrong.
Truth.
Damn it.
Ugh.
Yeah, Circuit City and Child World show up and like, all right, move out. What's the term that hold my beer?
Yeah.
Let me show you
Yeah.
how to sell all this.
Nobody beats the whiz, rolls up on him.
Yeah.
Was it Maury Povich, the speaker of that? Like he was the guy.
Me might have been.
I have a
Maury
question.
Povich was not the speaker for Nobody Beats the Whiz.
At one point, I thought he was.
He might have been.
I thought he
Was he?
I
there.
really
didn't
hope I'm
remember
right on that.
I remember the jingle. Nobody beats the whiz.
Nobody beats the whiz.
I have a question.
Sure.
Like across from Newark Airport, well, when I'm going into the city, they got that giant Toys R Us.
That's the one near where I work, actually.
How much do you think that giant sign they put on the sign that says store closing costs?
A lot of bread.
I know, right?
A lot of bread.
We all know you're closing. Like, do you have to spend the money on that It's huge.
So I just looked it up. They owe the sign makers $3.4 million.
Oh my God!
Again,
Toys R Us.
Go out of business. Right?
Toys R Us saw the movie Three Billboards and like, let's see if we can do this. Let's guilt the creditors.
I'm Woody Harrelson for Toys R Us.
By the way,
we are fucked.
It's not Maury Povich. I was like, I don't remember Maury Povich. I remember it being somebody. It was Joe Namath.
Oh, that's
Joe
right.
Namath was the.
No, really?
Yes, he was the
Maury
spokesperson
Povich, right. Makes that with
for Nobody Beats the Wiz.
You know what? In your defense, in Joe Namath's
They kinda
older
look a little
years,
bit
he
similar.
looks a little like Maury Povich.
You know, and I had to go back for that one too because I was like 9.
Isn't there a Seinfeld episode where they make mention of Nobody Beats the Wiz?
Well, there was at least one Seinfeld episode with Joe Namath, so it's possibly the same episode.
Okay.
Seinfeld.
Wow, Nobody Beats the Wiz. That's right, because they would price match anything.
Anything.
And that was even the early days of internet shopping. Yeah. When you find online stores and they're like, oh, yeah, well, that's our policy. We'll match anybody.
Yeah,
it didn't have specific rules that we did not.
Ted's Electronics in Idaho.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you wrote it on a piece of loose leaf paper.
Right.
I saw this DVD for $4 at the trash bin. Oh, well,
dude, like no joke, I did that when I bought my first video camera. I went in there and I was like, PC Richards has this video camera for like $800, and they had it for like $1,000 at Nobody Beats the Wiz, and they're like, all right, we'll give it to you for $800. I'm like, sweet. I was like,
I didn't even have to cut out
wow,
that.
I really am Jewish. I got these negotiating skills down. I can haggle.
Well done.
Yeah.
I used to just go to the Wiz for. Well, they had a big music selection because Sam Goody had gone away, and they were cheaper than like The Wall.
No, Sam Goody was still around.
No, they weren't. Not in the late '90s.
Absolutely, they were.
With the Wiz,
yeah. I'll tell you why. Because
Sam Goody was definitely around.
The Wiz went out of business before I started working for Sam Goody and Suncoast.
Are they Sam Goody and Suncoast under the same company?
They were owned by the same company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, then the Sam Goodies near us were out of business.
Yeah.
Or were closed down near us, so we had Nobody Beats the Wiz. I used to go there. My old radio habits.
Is that the name of the company? Nobody Beats the Wiz, or is it just the Wiz?
No, they shortened it to the Wiz later on.
But it was Nobody Beats the
Wiz.
Okay,
because that was their marketing. It was like anybody who was going to undercut us we're going to match it or try to undercut them.
Yeah,
which
it's a very long store title.
Yeah, so
rolls off the tongue.
I used to go there and just buy bricks of cassette tapes to tape radio stuff and mixtapes. Like
they always have them in those bins.
Eric's Love Mix 1999.
No, they were blocks of blocks of tapes like the high-end TDK or the metal Sony tapes.
Yeah, I remember.
Like that. So I'd go, that's all I would buy. And half the time they didn't ring you up all. Like I'd buy 4 bricks of it and maybe 2 of them got rung up. And I wasn't going to say anything because they already put them in the bag. And
you're a good man.
Yeah.
Honest.
And that's why they went out of business.
That's right.
Yeah, I was going to say, between my haggling skills and your their cash register skills, it seems like we put them out of business.
Their negligence. One other thing I used to do if we're going to talk about these chain stores, The Wall. Do you remember this store?
The Wall was the best.
Okay.
They had the sticker trick.
All right, this is where I'm going at. So one guy left the roll out on a cart while he was putting CDs and stuff away, and so I took the roll of stickers.
Yeah.
And anything that, like, if something was broken, whatever, I threw the sticker on it and just walked back to the store because the Wall's policy was once you buy it, they put this sticker on the thing and it says guaranteed for life.
Right.
So if your CD broke, your cassette tape broke, whatever, you bring it in with it had a sticker on it and they would replace it, no questions asked. So that's what I did. I would take a lot of broken stuff and put the stickers on there and go and get brand new copies of things.
I didn't even have the roll of stickers, so I literally used a tea kettle and steamed the sticker off of ones that I bought.
That's going fucking detective on us.
Jesus, like MacGyver.
I would steam them off the ones that I bought legit and then just put them on the new ones.
You're the kind of guy who takes checks
then what
on old
happens when
people's
that one
mailboxes.
breaks?
That's it, huh?
What happens if the one you wanted the sticker on breaks after you transfer it to the other one?
No, because they always had to put the sticker on it because it was always guaranteed.
So Matt was doing a lot of steaming.
Yeah, you literally would have to buy one CD at one point in time and get the one sticker.
The cops come, people have meth labs, it's just 10 tea kettles on his stove.
And
Matt's
theoretically, you're good for life.
Matt's got the ring light with the magnifying glass built into it, and he's using tweezers. He's doing crime scene investigations while trying to get free CDs.
Wasn't the Wall owned by Babbage's?
Babbage's.
I think Babbage's owned the Wall. Do you remember Babbage's?
I remember Babbage's.
That's too far from me.
Babbage's was
it was like a B. Dalton.
No. They were
what year was this?
They were like an electronics boutique.
Oh, okay.
They were the Walls Electronics Boutique, because Electronics Boutique was owned by another company, I forget the parent company, but it was like a small video game store. It was before GameStop. It was the competitor. Do you remember Electronics Boutique?
No.
Or is that even too fast?
I remember
Electronics Boutique because their signs always looked like what back in the 80s when everybody thought, porn and sexy was neon tubed lighting.
Right, yeah.
So you'd see it in the mall. It was a light blue, but very vivid. It would say Electronic Boutique. Yeah. So it looks sexy, but you walk in.
No, that was just Suncoast.
It's like I could buy PC games here.
Yeah. What was one? Wasn't there another one that had like ETC at the end?
Software, etc.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Software, etc. was the other one.
Yeah, there was all those places
because
they were all at the South Shore Mall.
Was it CompUSA?
But CompUSA was more like a Circuit City or a PC Richards.
Yeah, but that was more just computers.
It was more just
didn't have a lot of
computers,
other electronics at all.
Yeah, right.
Hence the name.
Hence the name.
Electronics Boutique was the company. Was the Electronics Boutique Holding Corporation.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what they owned, though.
Software, etc. Babbage's. One of those. Maybe Electronics Boutique owned the Wall. One of those two companies were owned by the same parent company. The same way Suncoast, Sam Goody, and Musicland were owned by the Musicland Corporation or Musicland Inc. or whatever the fuck it was.
Do you remember back in the days of Strongbad emails?
I do.
And Homestar Runner.
Hello.
He would do
the emails.
He would do the Teen Girl Squad.
Yes.
And he would do the song, and he goes, "Then we went to Babbage's." Arrowed, the ugly one.
Now I'm gonna go home and play Trogador the Burninator.
What's her name?
Trogador.
Burnation. Wait. Burninating the countryside.
Yeah, that's like
Burninating the peasants. I put that up. It might be hacked now, but it was funny to me at the time when the Game of Thrones episode came where the dragon was torching everybody, and I just posted the screenshot with the lyrics to Trogador. Yeah. He was burninating the countryside.
It was a green dragon that was kind of in the shape of an S, but he had big muscular human arms.
Yeah, he was great.
That sounds awesome.
Trogador the Burninator.
I'm just picturing like Arnold Schwarzenegger's arms on like the Dragon Ball Z dragon.
Yeah,
right now.
it was.
Just picture it on the letter S.
Like the S, like a regular S, or like the '90s S with the sharp points.
No, not that weird S that no one knows where it came from.
Here you go. Trogador the Burninator.
That's awesome.
My friend has that.
You didn't tell me it had wings.
Like his magic cards. Like he has a Trogdor playmat. He bought it, got it custom made.
Here, wait.
It was a dragon man. Maybe it was just a dragon. But he was still Trogdor.
This is where the good part kicks in.
Burninating the countryside. Burninating the peasants. Burninating all the peoples. In the thatched-roof cottages.
I just hear Eric whispering this week.
And hit those high notes.
Do you remember they actually created a Flash game on the Strongbad website where you played Trogdor and you burninated the countryside and burninated the peasants?
Yeah, you just walked around just like
yeah.
They would run around fire. Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh man,
do you know Strongbad? Is that
no?
God, oh my god.
Well, yeah, Strongbad was a more of a mid 2000s and sensation. Homestar Runner.
It was like early 2000s because I was like in college. It was like 2002, 2003, 2004.
What it was a website by these guys who were into digital animation. They created their own characters. They voiced everything and did all the music themselves. But it was a big it was Flash, right? Flash animation
Flash,
website where he would answer emails from listeners, and then they'd make weird, bizarre stories based on the emails. And and the fun part too.
That was Homestar Runner. He was the lead.
Yeah, and he had no arms.
Yeah.
But when he'd pick stuff up, it would just be floating next to him, and you're like, where are his arms?
And he had a terrible lisp, remember?
Right.
Hello, I'm Homestar
Hello,
Runner.
stupid. That's terrific. So, and one of the fun parts was not only just watching their stories or the emails being answered.
The Strongbad emails were the best.
You
part.
moved the cursor around, and you'd find like Easter eggs within the animation. So you click it, and then there would be cutscenes, or there'd be like, well, what's that thing on a screen? You click it, and it would zoom in and show you all the stupid stuff that was on the screen or on the newspaper. You know, there was a lot of fun stuff to do, and they would come out every week, and people would be obsessed with the new adventures or the new emails coming out all the time. In fact, there's
you can click on the light switch and do light switch raves with the cheat.
Oh, that's right, the cheat.
Yes,
they brought Strongbad back.
For more emails?
A couple years ago, they brought him back temporarily. I remember.
Yeah, I don't think it went over though.
They never got rid of the websites. The website just sat there for years, and then they brought it back. It did okay, but they didn't have a huge marketing push behind it, so I don't think a lot of people knew about it.
Knew that it was back.
I think that was part of the problem. But
yeah.
The cheat is grounded. We had that light switch installed for you so you could turn the lights on and off. Not so you could throw light switch raves.
So...
You do light switch raves.
That's awesome.
Look them up. They also had a DVD set out for a while too. It was a limited run. I'm trying to get all of them on eBay, but
a lot of them are still on YouTube. You can find them on YouTube.
Yeah, but I like to also hold on to those sets because at some point they'll get taken down or lost or whatever. And if you have the hard copies of the collection, they can live forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so finishing up with Toys R Us and then moving on was so the new sales that were going on right now, we said 10% and 5%. But what I'm hearing is that the stores don't fully close till the middle of May, and they're not doing the next level of sales for a while. It's going to take a few weeks.
So you imagine, like, hold?
Yeah, so
hold?
So I saw some stuff in there. I'm like, you know what? I'll kind of wait. If this is still here when it hits 50%, I'll definitely buy this thing. They have, it's not Lego, it's another company that makes the Technodrome from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I saw it. Big Block. No.
Yeah, it's Mega Blocks or something, yeah.
And it's $150, and I really don't think it's worth $150 to me right now. So we'll see how it goes. But we'll update you when the next sales come around. And now here's the thing, too. If there's not much left in your area, and if you can't find it cheaper online, I wouldn't wait, because sometimes these sales will hit and then all their inventory is gone, and they're just throwing out crap that you don't give, that you don't care about.
Crap on crap.
Somebody sent me a text showing that they had old board games from the 80s that they were putting out there that were just sitting in the back.
That's awesome.
No way.
Yeah, like Crossfire.
Dude.
They just put that on shelves.
You get caught up in the crossfire.
Right. So
I love that.
That sounded very Matt and Trey.
Sorry. That's
very South Park. But yeah, they're putting all these old 80s games and stuff on the shelves because they're just sitting on pallets in the back.
That would be awesome.
So one of the lead creators of Strongbad, Homestar Runner, and all that, they have a deal with Disney. So they worked on Gravity Falls. They worked on Yo Gabba Gabba, which is not Disney, but they worked on the Aquabats.
Nice.
Yeah, they've done a bunch of stuff since then. Oh, and
wait, the Aquabats, the ska group?
No. The Aquabats Super
Fashion
Show
Zombies?
No, it was a TV show. They also worked with Rooster Teeth for a while too, so that's cool.
Oh, that's the anime.
Yeah, they did like RWBY.
No, but they have that big booth that kind of grew up out of nowhere at Comic-Cons.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Giddles and I were walking past it.
Didn't they do Red versus Blue also? The Halo? They did the Halos here. I think Red versus Blue was them also.
But Giddles knew about Rooster Teeth for a while, and he said, I remember these were just little booths where they were trying to get handing stuff out, trying to get people to look at their stuff. And now they had a huge centerpiece at New York Comic-Con when you walk past it with lines, people waiting to get whatever their exclusives were.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Anyway, so that's enough for Toys R Us there. I want to talk a little bit of radio stuff, if you don't mind, because today is kind of an interesting day. I know everybody here, but If you listen to the radio in some shape or form, you probably heard the name Don Imus. He had a nationally syndicated radio show out of New York City for many, many years. The guy's been in the business broadcasting for 50 years. He used to have his morning show simulcasted on MSNBC.
Everybody knows Imus.
Some
Nappy-headed
people
hoe.
don't. Younger people don't know who Imus is.
I figured the nappy-headed hoe thing would
Right.
Yeah,
bring
that
to
was
everybody
like, what,
else's
2008?
attention.
Yeah, but no, that was a while ago.
He was syndicated across the country. He was on WFAN here in New York City and simulcasted on MSNBC, the news network, until the Rutgers incident happened. Then he moved over to WABC and was simulcasted on Fox Business.
Yeah.
So the Fox Business thing went away, I think, a year or so ago, and he was just doing the national radio. And today was his last show, and he did a rather interesting goodbye. It's not something normally radio broadcasters would do. Going away. No, he
Just sitting there giving the finger at everybody.
that would have been
Motherfucks
that would have
people
been
for an hour and a
great.
half,
But
yeah.
he
Peace and love.
He did the exact opposite. He kept talking about, like, he thanked a few people, but then he didn't make it about anybody on his show, anybody he worked
Yeah.
with. He might have done that earlier, but the very end of it, listening to it, he was getting very emotional and choked up about it. And he kept saying, "It's all about you. It's you." And he goes, "And I don't even know who you are." He goes, "I don't know if you're male, you're female, your age,
Yeah.
what you do for a living." He goes, "But you." He kept talking about you as in the
Collective you.
the collective you, that really made his show what it was. Helped him with he has his ranch that he does the charity stuff for sick children, and he kept thanking you, and he kept breaking down more and more, and to the point where you're like, oh my God, it's really sad.
It was his whole life.
No, I know. I'm not knocking him at all. I just it was different. It was
Sure.
not something you normally hear on a goodbye. So he did his whole thing. It was about 14 minutes, and he got so choked up that I don't know if he dropped the mic. It sounded more like he smacked the microphone away.
Yeah.
Because it made a weird noise, like like these mics here, the ones that we're on are, they're powered mics. If they're
Sure.
not plugged into an electric source, they're not going to do anything. But at his level of radio, they're very expensive microphones.
Yeah.
And it just sounded like he smacked it, and it made a noise that's like somebody dropped equipment,
Yeah.
And it just kind of ended that way. A song was playing, and then it went into the Imus in the Morning jingle, and that's how he went out. But the guy, again, been on the radio for 50 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And what he did in his own career is unthinkable by today's standards. And what he did for the business, whether you liked him or hated him or didn't even know him, the way that he paved his career through this business to what allowed other people to do.
Sure.
I think only Howard could be on parallel to what Imus did for this business as far as syndication.
But
and
in a
things
lot of ways, Imus really helped Howard become where he
did.
was.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
for sure.
He was on CBS Sunday Morning, and he said, top 5 radio guys, and he put Howard right up there at the top almost. So it was interesting to hear him just say that.
Yeah, the guy, he started working in California, moving around towns in California, got to Cleveland, which at the time, I mean, still a top 20 market.
but for Cleveland's a pretty good market.
But, back then it was really big.
Right.
And then bounced right to New York and then syndication and never looked back. He just kept going. And the fact that he had this kind of longevity this long, because he's a very elderly gentleman, that they still allowed him to keep doing what he did is unthinkable by today's standards.
Besides the Rutgers thing, there was no plans ever for him to go anywhere from there. So
No.
And he always managed to stay relevant. He always managed to, not get too swept up in nostalgia.
He smartened up to where he became more news involved and politically involved. So he would have people from both sides of the aisle on his show all the time. He had pundits, he had politicians. He had, was huge into country music. Had a lot of country superstars on his show, and other newsmakers and things like that. He became he classed up his act in the last 20 years or so, and just became a whole nother level of radio that wasn't being done anywhere. So he retired today, and it's very sad because, one, hearing him get choked up and hearing that ending thing was one thing, but also realizing there's very few legends in this business left.
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's going to be a sad day. Howard's got, I think, about 3 years left. And if he's really sticking to what he's been saying that he's done after that, which is quite possible, you know, Howard doesn't have to keep doing this forever. He may want to punch out at some point.
He doesn't have to do it now if he didn't want to.
No, but he still wants to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he may not want to when that point comes up. That he'll be done, and then who do you have? You know, like
Scott Shannon is still pretty big across the country. Elvis is huge.
Right.
Yeah.
And Elvis has a lot of life left in him still.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He'll be around for a while.
Yeah.
And, he just signed a new 5-year deal.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere for a while.
But I'm sure there's some big names that I'm not familiar with out of Los Angeles that are legends in this business that are probably doing big things. They'll be around. But overall, as an industry, there's no minor league. You know, radio companies were not developing personality programming and personality talk hosts to take over, you know, for the next generation. There's nowhere to pull from.
Well, radio did that to themselves, though.
No, I'm not defending them.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to keep with the conversation. I think I agree with you, but I think what happened was radio kind of got caught up in the monopoly of radio. Right? Like there's nobody other than radio, right?
I'm the thimble.
But you know, there's nobody other than radio. Like that was your option, right? And even when satellite came along, satellite took a bite, but I don't think satellite still did huge damage to terrestrial. I think what does more damage to both satellite and terrestrial radio, I think it's podcasts still. I still think the prevalence of that type of instant media from people you can on a more relatable level takes a bigger bite out of radio than anything else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not any one person in particular, but it's everybody's taking little bites.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I hear of new podcasts every day that people are listening to. They're telling me about, and then I look them up, and they have like thousands of listeners.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah, but radio is still the number one thing by far.
No.
It's so far ahead still. But podcast is actually, I think, starting to make more of a difference than the satellite, than the Pandora, than the Spotify.
Here's the.
But I
sorry,
think
go ahead.
no, but I agree with you. Radio is still the number one, right? But I think from a talking head talent standpoint, or from a talent standpoint,
oh, absolutely, yeah, no.
Radio has lost its way in a lot of ways. They're either those playlist stations.
Yeah, a lot that has to do with corporations. You know, since 1996, the Telecommunications Act of 1996, where corporations were buying up, they were doing land grabs.
Right.
All they could get in every market. And then some of these companies became so big and so bloated that they were the only games in town. You know, you went from the law used to be you could only own an FM and an AM in a market, and that was it.
Right.
And then it's all of a sudden now you can own
whatever you wanted, essentially.
I think up to 7.
Right.
On there. Yeah, I think up to 7 in a market now. They were cut. If whatever they would model in New York and LA was getting cut and paste across the country, except for certain markets where they had to have unique sound or a unique signature in order to succeed in that market. Markets like Philadelphia, DC, Miami, things like that, where you had to have a certain thing that reflected the market. But everywhere else, if you're in Kansas City, if you're in Tucson, Oklahoma, or something like that, you're hearing their top 40 station. The imaging sounds exactly, if it's an iHeart station, sounds exactly what the imaging is for Z100 in New York, just with whatever their station is called in the same jingle package.
Right.
It's all pre-programmed out of a lot of places. You barely hear on-air talent unless they absolutely have to because of sales, afternoon or even mornings.
Sure.
And even the mornings a lot of the time are not local. They're piping in, and it's not taking a shot at these guys, but they're piping in Ryan Seacrest, they're piping in Elvis, they're piping in who else is a syndicated show in the morning?
Those are the top two. If you listen,
Bob and Tom,
Yeah, I mean, if you listen, we got Elvis here because he's in New York, but he's over there in LA. He's on satellite, and then the Seacrest show is not even live he used to do it in LA live. Now he doesn't do it live at all.
Yeah,
he
right.
doesn't even go to do it in New York since he's here now with Kelly.
Right.
He does it like the hour before, and he does it 2 hours after, just to bang it out. It's all voice tracked.
Right.
So it's radio used to be very talent driven, very
personable. You you used to listen to a show and have a channel, have a station that reflected you. You'd wear their shirts. You'd put their bumper stickers on your car.
You'd buy the Scott and Todd coffee. You would do all that kind of stuff.
Shut up.
But no, seriously, like it was a thing. Now it's very corporate controlled, and I don't know. I can only say so
It's
much.
just sad that there's no minor league. They were not developing anybody in the back. Saying,
no, because they don't value talent anymore.
No, one day Howard's going to be gone. Who do we have at this company that can, we can even attempt to fulfill the shoes of Howard? One day Elvis is going to be gone. Who's going to be our next big, CHR morning show that we can syndicate across the country?
But that's what I mean. I think radio is just going to become more and more playlists,
right?
And then and then your talent, your talking talent, is going to be available in other formats.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, we were talking about Imus today where I work, and it was just like, I give him a month. They're like, a month for what? I'm like, till he decides to do his own podcast in his basement. They're like, no, he's done. He needs some time. I'm like, yeah, no. People like that, give him a month. It'll be nice. He'll play, a round of golf, ride some horses, and then he's going to get bored. This guy needs to talk.
Yeah, and even if it's only once a week or whatever it is.
He's not going to sit there and talk to the wall. He's going to figure out how to hit record.
And one other factor that goes with it, this really determines that mindset. When you have so much money that you don't have to worry about anything, you're exactly right. You'll sit out for a while, and then you'll start itching to get back because you have nothing to do.
Yeah, there's certain people that die in that on-air chair because, and that makes them happy. Like, they don't know what else to do. Yeah, they'll take a month vacation or something like that, but like Steve Summers on WFAN now, there's no reason for that man to work. He's got a lot of hearing problems.
Yeah.
But he's just a really super amazingly nice guy, but he says it on his radio show all the time. He's like, what am I going to do?
But you know what?
I got nothing else I want to do. This is what I want to do.
I mean, in honesty, I think that's human nature. I think that's in almost in any job. You see all these jobs where people, die at work. Where I work, right? I won't talk about it specifically.
Toys R Us.
Yeah. where I work.
There's a lot of people in shirts and ties that can't wait to get the fuck out of there.
Again, Toys R Us.
There's a guy that works where I work, right?
It's always a guy.
He's got a breathing tank that he wheels around. The guy's got to be like 88 years old.
And he's got nothing else to do.
And he just doesn't want to retire. That his whole life is... When I first started with this company, we had a guy that retired about a month or two after I got there. That guy showed up 3 days a week with like cookies for everybody, and he would just like come into the
had
office
nothing to do
and hang out with people. He had nothing to do. But that's what I mean.
Was he the Dennis Falcone of your office?
He may have been. But
he brought food.
But that's what I mean. Like, yeah, exactly, exactly. But so guys that do that type of work. The nice thing about podcasting or something similar is that you actually have access to these outlets now.
Right.
I mean, look what happens when you get off like a major satellite channel and have nothing to do.
Yeah, you end up in a basement somewhere with a couple of microphones in front of you.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And a webcam.
I hope it never gets to that point. What I did notice, though, is with the personality programming deteriorating from terrestrial broadcasting, and Matt is right. A lot of them have been going to online streaming and podcasts and whatnot. Remember when we were in O&A? Remember when we would take vacation? We'd come back, and even on social media stuff, people would be yelling that we were off for the week.
Yeah.
Same thing with Howard. Howard gets it all the time. I mean, he gets it for a different reason now because he's only doing 3 days a week. But even when Howard takes a vacation and they come back and people are yelling that, that you're taking a vacation because you need to do that when you're talking for 4 to 5 hours a day, for weeks on end. You do need to take a break.
Your head off, otherwise, yeah.
But they would complain because people love their routine. They love listening to what they want to listen to. And then they're like, I had nothing to do. I didn't know what to do with myself while you were off. Now, that being said, with the personalities disappearing off radio together, you go to other means to find stuff, podcast, streaming, like we said. Have you found that more people are willing to accept that if you do a weekly podcast instead of like a show that used to do it 5 days a week, now they're more tolerant that, well, they have a weekly show that we can listen to because they listen to more programs now?
Well, that's what it is. So people, I mean, look, I listen to probably 10 or 15 different podcasts,
Me
right?
too.
And I don't always listen to them on the days that they come out, but I kind of have a schedule. Like I know, this show comes out on Monday. I'll probably listen to it on Tuesday. By the time I download it, I'll listen to this one on Wednesday, and I kind of just cycle through my shows.
I think it's that black and white. I think it's kind of like watching TV.
Are you thinking of being my baby?
Yeah.
You did
Gills
that
with the save
right as Eric took a drink. You couldn't have been more perfect. But I'm the kind of guy who likes to listen to a daily thing because it does.
I'm the kind of guy who likes to wander around.
I was hoping Giddles would add on to that as well, because I set my schedule to it and stuff like that. But it also makes your point that Howard's off for the week. There is no other talent that they have like him or to fill in with him because they're not gonna. And there's nothing I hate more than DJs who think that they can pull off someone else's show and try to do an impression of it.
Yeah,
and it just falls flat and it's terrible and hokey. Talking
about Todd, aren't you?
Anyway, DJ Tanner.
You didn't hit the ha-ha.
It's just, that's, even these legendary stations, like if Elvis is off, they do a best of, right?
Right, they do a best of.
Sometimes, in some cases, Bennington is the leader in doing this. They'll pre-record shows leading up to that vacation, so even though they're off, you got a full new week of shows. Yes, you can't interact with them, they're not taking calls, but they're banking interviews, they're banking full segments, and they'll give you a full week of new stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There are shows that will, I think Elvis does sometimes, they do new wraparounds for... Even that shows that you care. If you do wraparounds for your best of to give a little bit more content, it's like, why are we playing this? What's going on here? Sam and I used to do that for O&A until we realized they didn't care, so we stopped caring.
Right. Yeah.
But, look up the story where we went 8 months not posting the thing, and that got revealed. That was fun. But when they go and give that little bit extra, then the audience is pretty much okay with you being off.
Yeah, it's because you recognize it. If you turn on, it's weird, too, because there's no, like we said, talent to fill in and take its place. When Elvis takes off, or if he's got an event or something to do, and I only say that just because I know people in the business, 90% of a show doesn't necessarily take off. So, like, the show that you listen to could be the same sans Elvis, but they don't do that. They are afraid it's going to sound, like not like Elvis, and then people aren't going to listen. But, the other people who have fill-ins, they don't have the talent behind them.
That can also be a host decision. Because there's times where certain hosts, like Mike Calta in Tampa, there's times where if he has to take a day off or he's sick or something like that, he has enough faith in his guys to let them host the show while he's gone. So if it's not like when he's on vacation, he'll have a best of, but if he has to take a day off or two for something, he'll let his guys host the show, and they do a good job while he's gone. Sometimes it's up to the host, like, well, if the host is off, everybody's off.
I also think another thing,
and that used to be the way O&A was. If Opie or Anthony were off, we were off. Then it got to the point where, if Opie or Anthony are off, doesn't mean the rest of the show can't continue. So we switched over to that towards the tail end of the show.
I think something else that changed, and this is partially because of the internet and social media and stuff like that, but I think the local angle to radio doesn't need to be there anymore. Like, I remember to a certain degree, you would listen to some stuff to get a feel for some local. I don't know that that's an issue anymore.
I think that depends.
Like back
on the market.
back in the day, Z100 was still pretty New York focused.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was still a lot of. Now it's very much more generic, and that's okay because that's how it's evolved. But
it depends what you're listening for. I mean, everyone's going to do the national stories, and they're like, did you hear about this guy in Florida? Stuff like. But sometimes it's like, man, it's a shitty day outside. And you get your local traffic and weather, or them busting balls like the whole morning show. One guy's from Long Island, one's from Connecticut, one's from Jersey, and then you get like the different, like, oh, I got no snow by me, and like, oh God, I got everything.
But I don't necessarily consider that. I don't necessarily consider that like local radio so much as that's like conversing about your locale.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
you're talking about.
I think about like New Jersey 101.5.
You're talking about the mayoral race. You're talking about
the
Department of Sanitation not doing something in a certain area. You're talking about, look, Walmart's still trying to take over the Brooklyn Navy Yard again. Those kind of local
things
topics.
that are really, really local.
Right.
Like the weather thing. Like, I get what you're saying with that, but that could be funny or
traffic
entertaining.
and weather together on the ones.
There you go. But that could be funny or entertaining to, like, the same way that we talk about the snow here.
Right.
Right. we're not talking to people necessarily who have snow, but we try to make it.
Yeah, you're not going to the
entertaining.
phones and talking to the people in your listening market.
So, what's your commute like today in the 3 feet of snow?
I get what you're saying.
That's not in a lot of markets. New Jersey still has a station that does that, but I don't know that is everywhere.
No, I think it's more in the smaller markets than it is in the bigger markets.
Right.
Like in New York, they have, you have WABC, which is all New York stuff.
Like I go to 1010 Wins for New York related.
That's
news.
traffic and news, right? But you're talking about local programming.
Yeah.
ABC, now with Imus gone, I think Bernie and Sid are taking over. It's all local, that entire station.
Sure.
They have that station, The Answer, which is just a bunch of nobodies and Joe Piscopo. But they're doing all super local stuff.
Shots fired.
And it's like you never hear anything about any of that stuff.
Right.
Like there's people in the area, I'm sure, love it and listen to it. It doesn't, I can't imagine it's doing well. And you never hear anything news-wise of that station doing
you go to
anything.
1010, it's because they'll give you the world. 22 minutes.
We'll give you the world.
22 minutes.
I think what happened with syndication and all those markets blowing up is that you had to stray away from that sort of
you had to
local
make it more
radio.
mainstream.
You had to make it more mainstream, and so I think that had an effect on it too. It's all these little things that kind of evolved
there's
that
not
I think
one
led us
big
to where we are.
There's not one big answer that you can point to and say this is why everything's falling apart. It's like, well, this and that. It's a big zigzag. Connect the dot.
20 years though, you're definitely right with the amount of Howard will be gone and Shannon will be gone, and then you'll be listening to whatever podcast you want.
I was going to say I don't even know that it's 20 years. It might even be as little as 10 years.
Well, I'm hoping that a certain host that we have will turn into a huge talent.
Well,
Giddles, are you working on that?
He's playing Overwatch.
He definitely gave up like 20 minutes ago.
He tapped out. He's like, oh, this local
I
talk.
can't add too much to this. Sorry, I don't know too much about radio.
No,
that's
okay.
fine.
Yeah. I was going to keep quiet, but
yeah. So
I was
Anywho,
watching a bear. There's a bear catching snowflakes on its paw. It's a great video.
Oh, ADD Giddles.
the best.
but that
All right.
actually was a pretty good video. But anyway, Don Imus, good on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's sally
As he
forth.
moseys on into the sunset, Mr. Imus is retiring to his ranch in Texas. So
There you go.
All the best to him. And the few times that I got a chance to meet him, he was always very nice. One of the fun things, this is, I don't know if this will mean anything to anybody, but one of the fun things that I used to have is in the morning show when we would come in for Opie and Anthony, where I would park was in the Sirius building.
Right.
And I'd have to walk around the side. But where I used to walk, right next to me was Fox News. So I would see Imus, his limo coming up at certain points. And the limo would pull up, the driver would run around, open the door, Imus would come out, and you just would see the hat.
Right.
And with the hand on the hat as he'd get up and he'd walk. And he had his denim jacket, a thin denim jacket, his cowboy hat, had his hands in his pocket like this.
Yeah.
Making himself very tight and compact. And he would walk like with a mosey. And the security guys on the side door for Fox, they would open up and they would say something to him, and all you would see is he'd go like this, and then you just see his hand go like this. Like his two fingers just would go shoot up in the air like that. That was not even looking at the security as he's walking through. He was just like...
Do you think he said howdy?
He probably did. I wasn't there.
That's what it looked like, howdy.
Howdy.
Or gentlemen, just walking in there.
Yeah.
But he had the two fingers up like making a gun point in the air. Like he's shooting a pistol, like from the Wild Wild West.
Yeah,
and he'd walk in, and then if you went to the corner, you would see him above the NHL store where his studio was.
Right.
So you would see you'd see him sit down, and you'd know it's him because you saw the big cowboy hat and the lights.
Hey, what's going? That's just Imus.
Just Imus.
All right.
All right. Well, I don't want to say Godspeed because that means he's dead, but all the best, Mr. Don Imus.
Wow. Killing off.
Dark.
Can we go into your friend before we take a break?
You can do whatever you like. How deep do you want to go into him?
Whoa.
So
is this all? Which? All right. Let's see what part you want to talk about. Go on.
Trevor tells us a while ago about his friend who was competing in a championship where
a national
championship where I've never heard of this ever. So. The way he said it, I thought it was, how they have the air guitar championships.
Yes.
And it's just a little quick, like a 5-second news hit to round out the half-hour news broadcast before they go to Jimmy Fallon, you know, something like that.
It's a big fucking deal, dude.
This is huge.
And so I thought that's what he was talking about, and then he clarified and no, that we were completely wrong. So Trevor has a friend that competes something in a national competition. Trevor, what is it?
It is the National Air Sex Competition.
I just picture like Beavis, like
doing
the...
No. It gets way more involved.
And then random kicks in the air.
So one of my dear friends was taking a girl out on their like second date, and they show up to this bar that they frequent. And what he didn't realize, it was the qualifying round for the New Jersey chapter of the of the National Air Sex Competition. And he decided, fuck it. I'll sign up. Yeah, I'll sign up. And what it is you go on stage, they introduce you, and they put on a song, and you air simulate sex to that song, or you have a routine. So he just did it for like fun, thought it would be funny to the girl, and she did not find it funny, and it kind of didn't work out for him after that. But what he didn't realize was people got into this shit.
Yeah.
And they had whole entire routines, and they dressed up in they brought certain outfits out. But he's so good at what he does, very good with his hands, that he won the New Jersey chapter. And they said to him, we're going around, we hit every state. If you make the top 10, we give you a call, and nationals are in Austin, Texas. Thought it was hilarious, won a bunch of vibrators and dildos, and he thought that was going to be the end of it. Yeah, there's no money involved. First part. Well, he became number 10 of 10 and decided to go.
Right.
And so he flies down to Austin and finds out that the first prize in the 2017 National Air Sex Championship is like one of those giant checks that you get from a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, those checks are great.
WWE belt.
Okay.
Leather, and it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. And a $4,000 real-life sex doll that you get to design any way you want.
Oh, jeez.
So if you want to design it the way of like with the chick from Total Recall with the third boob, you could do it. They'll do anything you want. Any size boobs, waist. So he goes down there and he has to make a costume, and he just goes all like chaps, and he put on a handlebar mustache and cop glasses, and for
a normal Friday night.
Yeah, it's fine. So he gets up there. He's right after Boob Ross, and
that's a great name.
It's a great name. It was the chick, afro and all.
Yeah.
And we decide, he gets really drunk, and he starts, what should I do? They have props. I didn't bring any props. And I'm like, oh, dude, find some chapstick. Like, just put chapstick on yourself or something in the right holes. Yeah. And
what?
Then he has, exactly.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I just we just yelling out things in a mass text. That's when he decided this is where it went wrong. So
this is where it went wrong.
He's doing his air sex competition. Everyone's kind of cheering it. But what people didn't realize is that it then turned to gay sex. He was the one getting banged, not him banging someone else. And then he stood on his head and he had pretended like someone was like he was just choking on it from behind. Made it to the finals from that. Took the chapstick out, started putting it around his ass. Very interesting. Didn't know. He didn't know there was a round 2.
Oh no.
So he comes. Boob Ross
was the lightning round.
Boob Ross actually honestly made it to the last round as well. He's in the top 3. They do the same routine again. He goes balls to the wall, just takes his clothes off, basically down to just he has Daisy Duke shorts on.
Yeah.
Goes a whole separate routine to NSYNC's Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Wow.
And won the whole damn thing. I just get a text message at 4 a.m. He's wearing just the belt.
Yeah.
And he had to order the sex doll, and his name is Eric T. Bonnier. And he's the 2017 National Air Sex Champion. And this week, Oksana arrived.
Well, before we get to that, there was a couple of weeks ago where we all got invited to an unboxing party.
It was the Sex Patrick's Day party, yes.
Right, where this thing was supposed to be delivered, and he was going to open the crate and pull this thing out. None of us had interest in going, but
I had interest in going.
Gills was down for a bit.
Well,
I was totally down for a bit.
There were some photos that were sent to us from the party that were quite disturbing, and
that's a normal Saturday.
So I was like, oh
You
my
guys just
God.
don't know how to fun.
I guess not. We don't know how to fun.
You
indeed.
fun horde.
So we'll have to put those up on Erock Radio on Instagram. We'll
Well,
put that up.
everyone who came to the party had to bring an outfit for Oksana.
Right. Which he wound up wearing.
Someone had to wear it.
Good point. So now we fast forward to
She got delayed in shipping.
to present day that the crate arrives. So what? Tell us about the unboxing.
So he gets home.
Did you make a YouTube video first of all? Because like you have to.
No,
first,
he was
textile.
for his job and everything. He didn't really want too much.
Oh yeah, no,
out
I saw
there.
that photo.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. There's another photo though that you have to say. I said Gittles. You see all the holes. He comes home and he's living in an apartment. So
My favorite
the package,
is
the package is downstairs
Oh my god.
at the front desk, and it looks like it's something. It's as tall as a Christmas tree. It's a real person. He walks in there just like, oh, you got a package. He goes, and he's got to lug this thing up 15 flights of stairs.
What is that?
Which one is that? That's the one. That's where you get to see all the interactive parts.
All her bits.
And there was an unboxing, and it's weird because it's like a coffin. They opened it up, and she's just laying there, but it comes in pieces. It's the whole entire body, torso, legs, everything, but the head's missing. And the head is in her hands.
That's creepy.
So she's just laying there holding her own head in her hands. And then on the side is all the accessories like the wig.
If the head was turned, I'm looking at the photo. If the head was turned the other way, you would open that box. It looked like she was self-pleasuring.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better. Oh, man.
You have a future in packing sex dolls, Eric.
Yeah,
I
way to
do.
go.
Well, I got to do something.
It was everything's like really real on it. You can move the fingers individually and the toes. You can cross its legs, put it in any kind of pose you want. At one point, she's just standing there. You know how like Vikings or something held a helmet? She's just holding her own head. Because what it does is there's a hook that comes out of the neck, and you can hang it in the closet. So you can hang the head that way and then hang the torso from the other hook.
You know what they should have done?
What should they have done?
The Al Bundy touchdown pose, but had the head in her hand.
They've only had her a week, Eric. So
Give him time.
Well, it's gonna be great
Time.
if like the neighbors see and they think there's like a body there and they call the police and
Well, no,
they
that's the
show
thing.
up.
Some people have guard dogs or something so no one breaks in. They just put her like kind of in the hallway when they leave. So if the door ever opens up for some break-in, they think a person's there.
Right.
So now she sits,
headless person.
They their TV like console is basically 2 bass amps with a giant plank of wood and a TV.
Yeah.
So they moved the TV to the left, and now Oksana sits next to the TV. So it's very interesting. He says he's not going to have sex with it. He swears he's not
Bullshit.
going to. I know.
Don't accept
He's
the
probably
offer,
having sex with it right now.
and it's not fully assembled.
You know what? A couple of drinks on a lonely Saturday night.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no way you leave the bar and you strike
that-
out and you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
You know, without the head, it's technically a hole in that neck.
No, that's where the hook is. Be careful. You'll lose the ball.
Gotcha.
But he's like, it's gonna be like fucking a corpse. I can't do that. That's weird. I'm like, I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
as a happily married man, you get me drunk enough and I'm crashing at your house, don't walk out in the middle of the night for a glass of water.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a 50-50 chance.
Things might happen. Now, can you put her in the washing machine when you're done?
Funny story.
Dishwasher safe.
Is she microwavable safe? That's the real question.
Oh,
She got delayed.
What are you going American Psycho with it? Like, what are you doing with
You
this?
know, I
thing?
need to age her up a little bit. She looks a little too young.
Right now she's just cold foam. You need to warm it up. Give it some life.
I want her to look like a burn victim.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Or if you have one of those ice freezers in your garage.
She got
Freddy Krueger.
She got delayed, but the cleaning kit didn't. There's a whole cleaning kit that comes with gloves and a specialty type of douche.
I'm getting nauseous.
I saw you were going to say I'm getting one.
I am. I'm invested.
Maybe you can
this
do it
is-
on FlexPay like Sideshow
There you go.
Collectibles.
But no,
for the
this is.
monthly payments.
I'm going to see her tomorrow. I'm very
Okay. Oh,
excited.
congratulations.
I'm going to go visit Oksana and then go see Ready Player One.
You should take Oksana to see Ready Player One.
Oh my
you
God,
should
yes.
spend
Like
the
Weekend at
money.
Bernie's.
You should spend the money for an extra ticket. Was it $12 or whatever it might
be?
be?
It might be 20.
Even still, $20.
Get the handicap seat with wiggle
you
room.
should absolutely bring her, put her arm around you while you're watching the movie.
you have to
Randomly
do
move
this.
her head. No, just have fun with it.
No, that's it. We sit front row where everyone's just staring at, and you just pull the head down to your
that's
lap.
what I mean.
Perfect.
That's what I was going to say. Do the thing that everybody jokes about, but nobody ever does. You get the popcorn bucket.
Yeah,
and you just put her hand in the popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
And you just watch the movie. You sit at the two aisles, the two aisle seats where everybody walks in, and you're just watching the IMAX movie and let them deal with it.
No, even better, you get there early and you stack her up so she's sitting pretty high. So when someone behind her's like, hey, down in front, you just actually remove her head and then freak them the fuck out.
Like that one person who comes in too late, like the previews already started, they can't see who it is. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, you need to Weekend at Bernie's. That could be your entire YouTube channel. Is just you guys
bringing her around?
Bring her to the bar, bring her to the movie theater, play chess with her in the park. You know, fun things.
Like real doll, real life.
Everything we could possibly do short of having sex.
That's it.
You play. You do it like the '90s rom-com trailers.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're at the coffee shop. You're laughing in the park, like Matt said. You're sitting there watching people go by. You're laying on a blanket looking at clouds.
And her head just falls off.
Bring her to the beach. Have her laying down on the blanket topless, but with her head next to her. You know, fun stuff.
Just you on a crowded subway train trying to hold her up during rush hour.
Her head's off.
Yeah.
But we're still putting the oil in her back, rubbing it in.
Yeah.
No, gross.
Travel with her, take her to San Francisco, push her off the Golden Gate Bridge so it shows up in security footage.
What if she floats?
I mean, there is a.
She winds up.
There's a sure way to find out.
She winds up at the rocks at Alcatraz, and they're like, "How did this happen?"
Yeah, where's her head?
So anyway, he has to defend his title next year. We're very
Put her in
sad.
a barrel over Niagara Falls.
Yes.
Have her drop right in front of, what is it, the Lady of the Mist or something, that the boat that comes by?
Just attach it to her hang glider. Just put.
That's it.
Anyway.
You should also absolutely dress her up like the Russian robot spy from Archer.
Well, I initially got her the
Yes.
what
See if you can paint her eyes red too, so she looks like the
We're gonna
android.
put the cool contacts in her.
Also, like
I got
HOV lane. Come on.
God, that could save me so much time.
Limo through Times Square, have her through the roof, and you're blasting the music, and you just scream from there like you're having a big party.
I'm the king of the world.
Have her wear the bridal strap.
Just the bridesmaid strap. Maid of honor.
Maid of honor.
She's never a bride.
Actually, just married would be a lot funnier.
No, just as maid of honor, but MADE.
And then dragging off the back of the limo are her extra accessories,
There you
like
go.
hands and feet.
Yeah.
She doesn't come.
She's
What are those for?
She's
Those
not
are-
that removable.
Yeah,
For giving
Jesus.
foot jobs.
She's not an actual hot toy. She doesn't come with interchangeable
Hey,
hands.
jeez. It's like, oh, well,
Look at the articulation on this.
time to go for the Latin hand today. Like, what? It's not mix and match.
Yeah, like this one could hold a wiener or a baseball bat.
I'm a little disappointed though at the fact that he went so like I would have like gone full bore like third
Yeah.
nipple
T-bore?
just
You know what? You know why he didn't,
With
right?
3 eyes.
because he's gonna fuck it.
Because he's gonna fuck you, and he didn't want anything too creepy. That's why he played to his own likes. That's it. He's like, I don't really want to have sex with somebody with a third boob. Let's make her hot.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, they ranged all the way to like M boobies. They were
I'm
weird.
sure.
I'm seeing in the photo here, so he chose the blonde wig because she comes bald, so you put the wig on
Yes.
her. I have
one with
I
him
have
wearing
two
the wig,
questions.
which was
One,
weird.
how does the wig attach to it? Is it like snap button
Can I see
kind
one
of
of
thing?
these photos again? I need a reference.
Is it a
point.
snap button thing? Is it Velcro? Like how does the hair stick to the head?
I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, she just came in the end of last week, and then we went to AC for the beer fest. So I'm not sure. She kind of looks like Dolores from Westworld.
Can you order
Hot.
other wigs to change her look?
I'm sure. Yeah. They come with accessories. His birthday's coming up. Oh my God, his birthday's coming up. I'm gonna get him some good shit.
Could you choose to model it after somebody? Like, could he have gone like?
Oh yeah, no, they have
like a porn star.
They have
or-
multiple
yeah.
porns. Like you could just.
Can you
order
do
the
like
porn star.
custom Funkos? You send them a photo and then like, this is my dead ex-wife. Could you recreate her?
This has become an episode of Black Mirror.
You can.
It is
There is an
Westworld.
option for that on the
Yeah.
website, and yes, I perused the website. You can make midgets. They can,
Yes.
they do
Now,
have-
if you get midgets, can you order 2? Since I figured 2 would fit in the box.
If you could order midgets,
that's just messed
if
up.
you could order, they prefer to be
Little
called little people.
Yeah.
If you could order little people, what if you dress them up like lawn ornaments? You put them out for
Like a
Christmas.
gnome.
Finding no.
You put it in your
no.
garden with a Smurf hat.
Hi, yes, I'd like to order one of your dolls. What do I want it to look like? Just the Travelocity gnome. Just the. Do you have? Oh, you have the hat.
Can you make,
have the hat.
can you make a 3-foot gentleman with a long white beard that goes from ear to ear, and that's it?
Listen, I'm really into Santa. What do you got for Christmas time?
Yeah.
Anything?
Do you have Tyrion Lannister? I'm thinking Tyrion Lannister.
No, before the scar.
Before the scar,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
give it its own.
Look, I'm not a monster.
Jesus.
This went
game-
dark.
I can't wait to win Powerball. There's so many new things we're gonna do.
Add,
here.
add this to the list.
We're gonna buy
Little people
little
lawn
people,
gnomes.
yeah, little people
Real
sex dolls,
Yeah.
real dolls, little people real dolls, and we're going to dress them up for lawn ornaments
for different holidays.
Right?
Yeah.
They'll be
They're always after me, Lucky
we'll
Charms.
put them as elves outside with Santa,
Yeah.
or dress them up as reindeer.
But it's got to be like little people with like big G boobs, like
Oh.
like ridiculous.
How else would we do it?
Yeah, of course. Go big or go home. That's what I say.
All right, so now I'm thinking we're gonna need like rope and stakes because it's gonna topple over.
Oh, because I was like, why do we need rope for the dolls to put outside?
Yeah, well, you gotta keep them propped up, so you gotta put stakes and ropes out.
Next
Like,
thing you're and then we have to find a big tree and
That's it.
can we animate them? Can it wave and go, ho?
This isn't Disney World, Eric.
Why can't it
it's
be?
not the rat from Chuck E. Cheese. We can't have it play a fucking
What
song.
if we buy a bunch of them and make our own? It's a small world.
Yes, I need 47 midget sex.
No, you
Midget
make-
sex doll.
No, you buy an old Chuck E. Cheese and you make all the animatronics real dolls and you call it a fuck E. Cheese.
Oh my God,
And
brilliant.
name of the episode. Fuck E.
I need 4 Spanish characters. I need 4 Asians.
And you guys deliver.
4 blacks.
Yeah.
4 whites.
they deliver.
Do you have Eskimos?
Every pizza has extra sausage.
Oh.
I need something that looks like it crossed the old isthmus from Russia to the northern lands.
Is Cro-Magnon an option? I'm thinking ridge brow, hairy arms.
Right.
Now, have you ever seen the chick from Mortal Kombat? Yeah, 4 arms. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then also, one of the little people, can we do the 3 boobs like in Total Recall?
Yeah, that's
Is
it.
that possible?
It's possible, yeah.
This is taking a dark.
Money's no
He had to
object.
fill out a form.
Ma'am, this isn't a prank call. Money is no object. I'll give
That's
you
it.
my credit card. And then the next phone call is Visa calling you like, did you really order this?
10?
Yes, mind your business.
Did you just really
Click.
place an order for
and then they're like,
$2.2 million worth of sex dolls?
Little
midget
people.
sex dolls.
They like to be called little people, Visa.
Hi, yes, Mr. Nagel. This is Shonda from Capital One. Did you
We're
just?
concerned.
We noticed some suspicious activity
Not
on
only
your
did
credit
we-
card.
Sir, not only did we freeze your card, the police are on their way for some
Yeah.
questions for you.
Please show up. You just have it in a onesie and a bib.
See, the,
It's dinner time. Here comes the plane.
No, just the big baby diaper.
The big safety pin.
Yeah.
think about his neighbors though, because you know they're gonna be delivered when Eric's not home. So they're just coughing like boxes all around your front door. But they're half size.
Neighbors are asking, what are these? Can we ask what this is for? You ever see the movie Poltergeist? I'm recreating the pool scene in the rain.
Oh shit!
You didn't tell me these were real dolls.
All of a sudden, Eric's Will Smith in I Am Legend. He just made his whole house look like Blockbuster, and he sets them up, checking out different movies.
That's a little too much. What I would do is I'd put them
Oh,
on...
that's too much.
It is.
That's his line.
sorry.
We found the line in the sand, folks.
Yeah,
Here's what I would do.
You're
Blockbuster.
trying to build BreastWorld.
I would put them...
Robots.
I'm sorry, go on.
Matt's not breathing.
I can't see him.
He's joking.
Because he said that right as he took a swig of water. And I was trying to not spit it all over the studio.
Season 2 of BreastWorld's coming up on Eric's front lawn.
Wait.
Got the little people.
Wait a minute. We're thinking about this all wrong.
No, I was thinking. Hold on, before
Eric
we go
is
to
the
that,
man in black.
I was thinking of just putting them on like train tracks or something, and just and recreating. I'm not Dick Dastardly.
Jesus.
Old timey music.
I hope there's a moose that comes save me soon.
But no train shows. That's just the two guys with like the little pump thing. There's like burn.
Video. What's the yellow filter that you use for video? Septon? Sepia.
Just the Benny Hill music.
The train hits and falls over.
All right, we're going about this the wrong way because this.
No, I was saying you put them on the little train tracks in the house and recreate the party scene from Home Alone, so that when the burglars are looking in, you think like it has a whole party.
The Christmas tree.
But you don't have the curtains closed. You leave them open and just see.
I love how we're doing all these things with like $4,000 sex dolls and not like $50 mannequins.
Because you know they're durable.
No, we're going real hard here.
They take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yeah, seriously.
This is we're thinking about it wrong. I'm telling you. So Giddles, they have a competition down the street from his house for his area.
Right.
We got to enter him there. We got to get you over here in Jersey.
There you go.
Oh, it's perfect. That's 2 right there if we can get in.
That's it. We'll take over. We're taking over the circuit.
Oh my gosh,
What,
we
for
all
the
go to
air sex
nationals.
competition?
Yeah, you got
No, I'm not
Eric,
doing
you got to
that.
do it.
No.
Why not?
Yeah.
Show your moves, man. You're not confident?
We could stream it on Twitch.
Yeah.
I don't even like doing it in real life.
No.
Well, this got awkward.
That explains so much. That answers so many questions.
All right, I think we need to take a break.
I think we need to take a break. I hurt.
It all went, never mind. I have other.
No.
It's all good.
No, just.
We're going to take a break. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a little snippet of the last of Don Imus as he ends his show.
Oh, 2 weeks in a row, just things that made me cry while listening to the pod. You had Jeffrey crying about his job last week.
I did?
From Toys R Us. I don't want
Jeffrey Giraffe.
Oh, the sad version of Toys R Us.
Jesus! I was driving, almost pulled off and just hit the median.
It was great, right?
It was, but I was sad.
All right, so we're going to play this. We're going to go to break with the clip of Don Imus. When we come back, we got to do the TV and movie updates. A lot of stuff going on there. And then we will get out of here for the big Easter weekend. All right? Anything to plug? Plug?
No, let's just take our break.
All right, we'll be right back.
We've done enough plugging.
Yeah, we have.
I'll see you out on the road, at the rodeo or wherever I am. I'm going to do one more big thing. Remember that. I don't, I've never told you anything I didn't do. But thank you. I know you're going to miss me. But, man, you have no idea. You have no idea how much I'm going to miss you. I wrote this down, and I want you to remember this. We were neither dissuaded nor diminished by the intellectually, morally, and ethically crippled losers, the likes of a racist, bigoted, civil rights charlatan, or the insecure, envious shock jock all howling in a chorus of like-minded yapping mutts, lost in the dust of the caravan, rolling by on the road to greatness. Rolling by on the road to greatness. We did that. You did that. I did that. That's what we did. You goddamn right. That's what we did.
It's Erik Nagel with Eric, Matt, and Giddles. Back right after this.
Attention. Shameless social media plug.
Erik Nagel is on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and reluctantly, Snapchat. So follow, like, and subscribe. Would you kindly? Eric, Matt OG, Kiddles. It's Erik Nagel.
Welcome back to It's Erik Nagel. That is me, Matt OG over there.
Hello.
Kiddle's in the upside down, but I think he's in the can at the moment. He'll join us in just a second. Trevor and Deborah, our producer, over in the back there. We have fully recuperated from our sex doll odyssey that we just went through.
Yep, got some electrolytes in me. I'm good.
Very good. We're playing this music here because Ready Player One is now in theaters.
Yes.
Opened up the day that we recorded this. Opened up today. I'm going tomorrow.
Nice.
At noon.
Oh, I'm going at like 9.
And I'm doing IMAX, and I said, all right, you got to pick your seats, which I'm really enjoying that you pick your seats because that means the chairs are nicer. They're the reclining ones. I go in there, I'm like, let's see if there's anything available, because Easter break during the day, I figured it might be a little easier than at night because all the kids are off for. Sure. Aren't the kids off for Holy Thursday and Good Friday?
Not Holy Thursday, but Good Friday.
Good Friday. All right. So Friday again. Everything's off. I saw 6 tickets sold when I went through Fandango. Maybe more now by this point, but that was this morning. Yeah. So I got my seat front and center. I'm good to go. As always, I get center right by the bar, above the handicap seats. So this way I can slide in and out if I got to go run to the concession or
you have a
the
tiny
bathroom,
bladder,
whatever. All taken care of there. So we're going to go see Ready Player One. We'll talk about that in a second here. The box office from last week, number 1, unseating Black Panther for the first time in 6 weeks, is Pacific Rim 2, The Uprising. And
not by much.
Not by a whole... Yeah, really kind of disappointing considering people have been waiting for this movie for a long time, and it only made $28 million.
Still,
at a normal opening,
it didn't have a huge marketing push from what I saw. I don't know.
It actually, their marketing push seemed to be very last minute. Like, oh shit, that movie's coming out. We better put something out there.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it came out this weekend until everyone told me.
Mm-hmm. Oh look, it's Darth Gideus.
Oh wow, yeah.
So number 2, Black Panther, bringing in another $16.7 million. Globally, $1.23 billion. Is it close to knocking off Titanic soon?
I don't know how close it is. It's got to be soon.
It's getting there, yeah.
Because it knocked out. I think it knocked out the Avengers movies now. Isn't it the number 1 for Marvel?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
right.
Officially did.
So if they're the number 1 for Marvel, they got to be the number 1 for Disney overall. Because I think it beat Toy Story, right?
Suck it, Star Wars.
No, Star Wars was never always. It's usually the Pixar movies that were the top contenders, but I think they beat out.
Suck it, A Bug's Life.
There you go. Number 3, I Can Only Imagine. I don't remember what that one is. Number 4, Sherlock Gnome.
Oh, well, it's got that going for it.
Yeah, don't know that. And then 5, the reboot of Tomb Raider.
That fell hard.
Yeah, it's in its second week, only bringing in $10.5 million, $34 million altogether there. So that is what it is. Going to see Ready Player One. Is anybody excited for it? Have you heard good things? Have you heard bad things?
I'm excited for it. I've heard some bad things, but I've heard some good things. I think it seems to be kind of middle.
Did you read the book?
I did read the book.
Okay.
I did the audiobook.
And I really liked the book.
You reading, I know.
I really liked the book.
There's nothing wrong with audiobooks. There's a whole industry for it.
I have not read the book, but some purists have been telling me.
Yeah.
Sorry. How it's kind of more like...
Did they identify themselves as a purist?
No, they just said, well, I read the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a little,
If they said they're purists or off the top of the bat, they're already full of shit.
Yeah.
Worried that it's going to be a little bit too much of Spielberg, like jerking himself off a little bit with all his movies. That's what they're a little worried about.
So
it's his movie. He can do what he wants.
So a couple things with that.
It's not going to bother me. I get to see a DeLorean
He
again.
bought the rights to it.
So a couple things with that. When they announced that this movie was getting made, the very first thing I said was, there's no fucking way they're going to be able to make this movie. I don't know how they're going to do it because you have so many properties from so many different license owners. How the hell are you going to happen? So, from what I understand, there were certain things that they couldn't use.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure Voltron's not in it.
And so they did replace them with other things.
I'm not sure.
Iron Giant is in it.
Is Pac-Man in it?
Iron Giant's in it, and I think
the
Voltron...
video game I hear may not be in it now. But that being said, I know people who read the book that still liked it.
Oh, I'm excited to see it. I'm all jacked up. I don't care about a book.
So I'm excited. I really like the book. It was one of my favorite books recently. The thing that's pissing me off now is all of these. There's this I don't know. I've seen a bunch of stories about how if this movie had come out 10 years ago, it would have been okay. But now, with the timing of this movie, it just highlights all of the bad things that came out during Gamergate and like the culture of like, gatekeeping for geek pop.
Maybe that's why they picked a week where really not there's Ready Player One and there's really nothing else coming out this week.
Maybe these are a bunch of people who should stop reviewing these types of movies.
It's also true.
I'm sorry, but clearly these types of movies are not in your wheelhouse. So save your opinion for things that are.
Remember early on when you saw the teasers and some of the reviews were, wait, I see Halo characters running across the front of the screen here. The early complaints were, it's like, well, they updated the references, they were worried that it's not going to be like the references in the book.
That was Tracer from Overwatch is in the trailer.
Right, and that's such a minor complaint to where it's developed now before even the movie started.
Well, reviewers have seen it, and the movie actually opened.
Right.
Yeah.
It opened last night, right?
Today.
I have some friends. I have some friends at it now.
No, it opened
midnight last. It's Thursday. Yeah.
No, it opened 2 days early. It's been open for a couple days already.
It's been open since Tuesday night?
I know people who, I think it opened on Wednesday. So I know people who went and saw it Tuesday night already.
Wow. Because I know
it had some sort of weird early release. I'm wondering if because of the Good Friday weekend.
Giddle saw it, right? Didn't you say you saw it?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
no.
I thought somebody here said they saw it. All right.
No, I saw the trailers and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like 100% sold on it. I don't know if it's my kind of movie. I'll probably check it out though because I have Movie Pass, so it's free. So I'll see it.
Yeah, I'm debating on doing the Movie Pass.
There's a lot of people that are complaining that like it's all these pop culture references and it's all this nostalgia and it's like thrown up on the screen,
like it's too much.
But my only concern with that is that's the entire plot of the book.
Well, then it should be that way,
right? So the quick is
so
that
someone who has no idea anything about this movie or the background or anything.
It takes place in the not too distant future. Like I don't get the impression that it's like 200 years from now. It's like 50 years from now, right? And like society has kind of become a bit dystopian. The wealth gap is like disgustingly big and population
like AR
booms.
And VR is huge.
Right. So what happened was these creators created this thing called the Oasis, which is this huge like VR world, but it's not just a game world. Like you can go to school in the Oasis. So like if you're low income and can't make it to school, you have an Oasis console at home that the government gives you and you plug in and you go to your classes inside the Oasis on top of all of these other game type elements and VR things that you would want to do.
Interesting. I'd never leave my house.
The guy who created the game dies and he sets up a scavenger hunt inside the Oasis, and pretty much it's like, look, here's a series of riddles. If you could solve them, you inherit my entire fortune and sole right to the Oasis. You become the owner of the.
It's like $500 billion.
Yeah, it's like an insane.
Yeah.
So
it's like a crazy like Willy Wonka.
I was gonna say it's Willy Wonka on steroids.
But the scavenger hunt is like in the book they have to recreate a scene from. What was it? Was it Top Gun? Or they have to recreate a scene from
the volleyball
a movie.
scene?
No, I can't remember what movie it was, but they have
in order to get to the third passage, you have to take off your shirts and play super sexy volleyball.
So they have to go to they go to a section of the Oasis.
This guy's weird.
They go to a section of the Oasis that is this movie kind of ported into the game, and they have to recreate the scene line for line, movement for movement, step from step. And so the idea behind it is you have to know the movie, you have to know the lines. And so the movie is about them studying all these pop culture things to be able to figure out how to crack the riddles. And in so doing, they're exploring all these facets of pop culture. It's literally
it's the dance scene from Dirty Dancing. It's got to be because like, Eli Manning can do it.
But you know what I mean? Like so, like your complaint is that there's too much pop culture in the film. But my counter to that is that's
the whole.
That's
point.
the whole plot of the book.
Yeah, no, I'm in. I'm so
I guess
involved.
it's like. But I guess it's like if it's done well, though, you know what I mean? Because like the book American Psycho is just nothing but references the whole time. You know, it's just like, oh, and then I was listening on this stereo, which has these speakers and stuff like that, and you could easily have like fucked that up in a translation. You know what I mean? To like screen. So like I don't know if like how in depth the references go, where it is telling that story you want, or if they're just throwing it out there.
Right. And I don't know because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But some of the reviews I've read sound a bit, I don't know, meh-y to me. But we'll see.
Is that a boat?
No, it's my phone. Sorry. It's a motorboat.
It's
Oksana is here.
Titanic 2, The Revenge.
But anyway, so yes, Ready Player One opened up this week.
Well, I'm going to go see it tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm excited for it.
Samesies.
Now, they already announced Ready Player 2. So I'm wondering...
There is no book Ready Player 2.
No, I know, but Spielberg already optioned Ready Player 2.
Right.
So my question is this. Is the movie... Because the book is pretty big. Is the movie cut into 2 parts?
No.
So you're getting the book for the first movie.
Correct.
You're not getting half the story, and then Player 2
That is correct.
Is the other half of the book.
Yes.
Wow, okay. So then I have no idea what Player 2 is going to be about.
Well, look, I mean...
It's going to be like Caddyshack 2 or Airplane 2.
No, but the way the
Jackie
way,
Mason?
Look, the way the way the first book,
what am I going to do here?
the way the first book ends, you can easily see... I actually thought Ernest Cline was going to write a follow-up book and call it Ready Player 2. I thought that might be in the pipe. Maybe it's not. Maybe he's just going to work on the script of the film. But the way the book ends, things are still not peachy keen jelly bean, as it were. And I could see where I could see where they can pull a sequel out of it.
Okay. I don't want to know anymore.
No,
we'll have to talk off air.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm going through the ending in my head
Yeah.
here, and I'm trying to figure out where you see it branches off. Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
I think there's a lot of possibility there. But anyway.
So anyway, go see Ready Player One. It's out now if you want something to do this Easter weekend. I also got a chance to see, finally, Black Panther.
Oh, nice.
I did go see it.
6 weeks. Well done.
Yes, and it was very well done. So I was seeing some stuff online where they were wondering why Bucky wasn't featured in the movie.
He shouldn't be featured in the movie.
Well, he's there at this time, but why wasn't he featured in the movie? No spoiler at this point. If it is, it's been 6 weeks. Tough shit. He shows up in one of the cutscenes at the credit scenes.
Yeah.
So that they show where it's going to tie into
Infinity War
at that point. So he is technically there. It's just he's not involved.
I mean, there's a really easy logical explanation to why he's not in the movie.
Hold on, but there's also a mention when they bring in Martin
Freeman.
I'm trying to remember his character, but they bring Martin Freeman, the CIA agent, in, and he's like, "Oh, another white boy to work on, to practice her medical techniques and what have you." So
I did catch
that.
That
was kind of like, oh, so Bucky is there. This is now, he's just not present in the movie, but he's there at that time. I'm guessing it's because you don't want all this fighting going on, and you don't want a white guy coming out and just slaughtering black people.
No, I think it's because only a select few know that he's there. I think T'Challa, Shuri, and probably a handful of other people know that he's there.
Right.
And you remember at that point, Wakanda is still very
hidden.
Yeah.
Right. It's not until the end of the movie that they kind of open up their borders.
Yeah,
so
but the
to
battle
speak.
was within the hidden parts of the city. That's why I was reading why didn't Bucky show up in here, and I just thought it was like, well, PC doesn't make today's times doesn't make sense to have him coming in for that battle scene. People would get offended by it or something.
Not even that. I just don't think he needed to be there.
I don't think he needed to be there.
I'm saying, but anybody that has that complaint, give me a really good reason why you think you felt he needed. I don't think he needed to be there. He had no place being there.
Because they want somebody to run in during the huge battle scenes to be the extra backup to help secure a victory.
Nah.
Michael B. Jordan.
That's overplayed.
Yeah, it's right. Exactly. That would have been overplaying the hand.
Yeah.
I think they handled it perfectly. And he's in Wakanda anyway because I think they tell you that at the end of Civil War.
Yeah, but wasn't he? I'm just trying to remember. Didn't they kind of knock him out because he thought it was the only way that he could be saved?
Yeah, they freeze him,
They
put him on whatever.
Carbonite
Yeah, exactly. No, so right. So that's the other thing is we don't know. Even at the end of Black Panther, we don't know how far along in his treatment process he is.
Yeah, because I
he
thought
could
it was
still be crazy.
Because he's still under. He has some kind of. There's still some keywords that he's brainwashed, so they're trying to figure out how to reverse that. So that's why they had to freeze him. I thought. Yeah, so it could have been only a week after that movie. You don't know. It is supposed to be a week after.
It is like a week after Civil War. He's only been there a couple of days.
Yeah, so calm down. Shit. Take some time.
I want it now.
It's my money.
During the battle scenes towards the end, there's one particular scene where He blows like a shell, like a conch shell or something like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, battle rhinos show up into the fight
battle
scene.
rhinos are awesome.
All I could think of was when Patrice was on our show getting excited for 300 coming out, and he was talking about the trailer, and he was all on, it's like, they got battle rhinos! Like that. So if you can find the clip online of Patrice talking about the movie 300, when he screams battle rhinos, that's all that was in my head when that happened. I went, battle rhinos!
That's pretty funny.
Someone tell the guy in the front to shut up.
Yeah.
So
no one was ever telling Patrice to shut up ever.
No, Eric, I can just imagine him yelling as Patrice in the middle of the theater.
Nothing else.
You put battle rhinos in a movie.
Nothing else coming out this weekend that's really of interest. Next week, I'm kind of interested in Chappaquiddick. I want to see that. You know what that is?
No, someone else at work said the same thing, but they were being sarcastic. So
no,
I don't know if
it's about Ted Kennedy and killing his girlfriend, and he was drunk driving and got out of a car when it fell into the river, and he let her drown. It's a real story.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah,
you're laughing and smiling about it. And
no, I'm laughing at your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a true story.
This sounds like the Superfly Jimmy Snooker story. Am I confusing it?
Eyes open real wide, chest reopens, and then you die just to avoid jail time.
It's Jason in the bottom of the lake in Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Turning to TV, a bunch of stuff came out trailer-wise. I guess you can call this TV being YouTube. The trailer for Karate Kid, technically 4, where it's...
I'm excited for this
beyond
all
It's
excitement.
about Johnny getting his life together, and that Daniel is... it really portrays Daniel as being the asshole overall.
Yeah, I don't know.
Daniel always was the asshole, Eric.
Yeah, I've seen those videos. No, I don't know that he's being an asshole, but but this trailer certainly sets you up where you don't know who to root for, and I like that about it.
Yeah. So it looks like, Johnny hit the skids after losing that tournament, and now he's starting to try to get his life together, and then Daniel shows up again and says, wait, you're trying to do something? Not on my watch. And now he's going to I'm going to kick your ass again.
But the funniest part is, Johnny hit the skids, but Daniel didn't really do so well for himself. He owned like a used car dealership?
I've never
he had a car dealership or something.
Well, he hadn't, compared to Johnny's looking at him, he's got money, he's liked by everybody. I saw something online, it's like, it was something about the old jock where he's still cashing in on former days of glory of winning one event.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's the Al Bundy. 4 touchdowns in a single game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
And Daniel's walking around like he's the local celebrity.
Yeah.
So that's coming to YouTube Red.
Yes.
Which I don't know many people who have that, but I think I may have to subscribe just to see that movie when it comes out. The Westworld 2 trailer dropped.
Looks amazing.
Yep. Looks awesome.
If you look at it, Matt, there's scenes. There seems to be a lot of scenes in Samurai World.
Yeah, there's
a lot of the red scenes seem all to be in the Samurai World.
And can I say the trailer? It looked beautiful. The storytelling that it was beautiful, but I forget the guy's name. But the guy who did the soundtrack for all of season 1, his use of heart-shaped box. Of doing his
in
take
the trailer
in the trailer was fucking amazing.
I liked it because it's the creepy piano version, but it's not the old player piano version.
No. It's the same way they did with like Black Hole Sun and
but they were the old player pianos.
Was Black Hole Sun?
It's on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
They're the player pianos.
Okay.
All their piano based covers. They did Rolling Stones Paint It Black.
Yeah.
All in the that starts off with the. Paint It Black starts off with the player piano and then goes orchestral.
Right.
It merges into the two. Black Hole Sun is played on the player piano. This one is just a creepy piano. It's not the old-timey player piano.
But
I'm looking
great.
forward to hearing more songs throughout the new season of
the season 1 soundtrack
stuff.
was great.
So there's a lot going on there. You don't know what really is happening other than a lot of the what are they called? They're not called robots. They're called... The people are guests, but what do they call the simians?
The hosts?
Hosts, yeah.
All seem to be becoming self-aware.
Yeah.
And the man in black, Ed Harris, seems to be... the way it's portrayed, like he's leading this revolution for them to rise up and burn the place down.
Burn the place to the ground.
Right. And then there's other stuff being created, which you have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Well,
everything looked great.
Yeah, everything looks...
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It's really good. And it's coming, it's a couple weeks? April 22nd or something like that?
Got to do something because... Game of Thrones is not till 2019, so they got to put something on there.
Yeah,
they're talking to.
I think it's
May.
Can
you do another Eastbound and Down? We got to fill the gap here.
I mean, they could bring it back.
And also, too, this ties into video games because we talked about for season 1. Some of the writers for Westworld are the guys who tried to put the BioShock movie together. And there's BioShock references in the first season. You can look them up online. They'll pinpoint out everything for you, so you don't have to sit there and try to figure it out now. But hopefully we're seeing more BioShock stuff in Season 2. So that trailer is out. Go check that up. It's also on our Facebook. It's Erik Nagel. Danny Glover, that his project for the animated Deadpool for Fox got scrapped.
I am so disappointed in it. I was kind of excited about it. I wasn't putting too much into it, but after it got scrapped and there was all this, Twitter stuff. Oh, he's just too busy doing Childish Gambino and Atlanta. He doesn't have time for it. That he actually went and wrote a series finale for it, like within the day that everyone was giving him crap,
right? And
posted the script on Twitter, and you can read all 15 pages. And if that was a 20-minute animated show that actually had all that content, I would have laughed my ass off. That's exactly the kind of dialogue, and like I could picture it so well from a Deadpool script. It was hilarious. I was laughing just reading, and it takes me a while to read.
There's so much going on with Fox right now. Fox pushed back almost every single movie on their slate.
That's Marvel related?
No, everything. Everything has been pushed back. I think the only movie that moved up was the Rami Malek Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen movie.
When's that coming out?
They moved it to December from February, but everything else has been pushed back. And I think it's because of the sale. I think because
that's exactly what I was telling Trevor about the animation being cut. I guarantee that there's probably progress we don't know about for them to cancel a project like that.
Right, and I wonder if it's not so much canceled as it's backburnered, because I'm telling you, whoever's buying that company they're probably getting ready to make the announcement, and they're like, no, we want all the profits from those movies when it's ours.
Yeah,
because,
I can see that.
Because everything is pushed back several months into 2019, which tells me that before the end of 2018, Fox will have a new owner.
Well, which sucks though too, because all these episodes that were written are super current.
Yeah,
and they're super like on topic now.
Right.
So they're gonna have to start all over again.
Right. They'll have to start from scratch
because the whole final episode's about him and Bitcoin and the White Rhino that just died. And
right.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And now I'll never see it.
Rick and Morty Season 4 was still up in the air. Dan Harmon just did an episode of Smodcast with Kevin Smith.
Okay.
It just dropped this week. I have not heard it yet, so I don't know what the details are. But still a lot of people speculating that it is Dan Harmon just doing what Rick and Morty do. They tell you one thing and then do the other.
Yeah, they said it was just contract negotiations. That's what's holding up Season 4.
Yeah, like they said it was hard to write a script or do anything and be proactive with it when you're not signed to a new season yet.
Yeah.
Right. Roseanne came back.
Yes.
Everyone calls it a reboot, but if you look technically, it's Season 10.
Yeah, it's not a reboot.
It's not a reboot at all. It's continuing.
It's a return. Yeah.
It's like what Twin Peaks did 25 years later.
Yeah.
It's still continuing the storyline. They did a 2 episodes in 1 hour kind of thing. Did you get a chance to see it?
No, I don't. No, I have not.
Did you like the original Roseanne show?
I did.
It's pretty true to what it was, and I thought they did a very good job.
I'm not. I don't want to talk too much about it. I don't want to offend anybody, but
yeah, But don't get so political.
I don't want to get too political
in the show
and ruin the entire show after an hour and 45 minutes. No, I have not watched it. I kind of want to watch it. I really like John Goodman. I really like Laurie Metcalf. I really don't care for Roseanne. I never did, though.
Right.
Like, even back then, I don't think I liked Roseanne, the person.
Yeah.
I liked the show, but
the other characters were better.
Right, the other characters were always better to me. Like, I liked the daughter, and, I really liked Laurie Metcalf's character. I thought she was always great.
What I liked that they did was that they did 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah.
Because the first episode, had they just done the first episode this week and the second next week, it might not have gotten the same reaction. That first episode is chock full of a lot of stuff they got to lay on the table.
Right, they laid it out there.
So not only everyone thought the big Dan being dead issue was going to be the whole thing, and they took care of that in the opening, which we saw before the show even came out. They released the clip.
What was the big twist?
It was a dream.
Oh, okay.
It was a dream, and Dan's sitting there with a CPAP machine, and she's punching him. And she goes, "I thought you were dead." And he goes, "Why does everyone think I'm dead?"
And then they reference it again, like halfway through the episode.
Yeah. But they lay it on the line that the Connors are a very blue collar, Midwest family. They did vote for Trump. Jackie was a Hillary supporter,
but they never say actually Trump or Hillary in the show, right? They just say he and she.
No,
right? I voted for him.
I don't
you
know.
voted for her. I think it's implied, but I don't think they actually.
You
I
might
don't
be
think
right.
they actually say
him.
Yeah,
but she
in the
walks
interviews
in.
and
She's
stuff.
got a nasty woman shirt on and the pussy hat and everything. But they rush it right in front of you to get it out of the way,
right?
Because they know that they've been talking about. They want you to see how everything's going to settle. They do that the first episode,
right?
Then the second episode starts developing into more of the extended family. Darlene with her kids,
right?
What's going on with her situation, and then something's happening with the two Beckys now,
right?
Yeah,
they're both in there. So they needed that first episode to rush everything in, get it out of the way, so that they could tell the story going forward. 18 million people, which is unheard of nowadays for a debut of a show or something like that. So already, if the next couple of weeks do well, then probably going to get a season 2. I did notice that a lot of programs this week all say that we'll be back in 3 weeks.
Right.
And it's not just like the
off.
CW, the Fox, NBC, all of them will be back in 3 weeks. And I'm trying to figure out, why are they back in 3 weeks?
They do this every year.
But why? What's the point?
It's not new.
Somebody told me that technically May Sweep starts at the last week of April, so that might be why they're doing it. So they get all their good stuff running towards the end during May Sweeps. Yeah, but all the network shows for the next 3 weeks are all dark. So it's all reruns. So I just didn't get why everybody was doing it.
I don't know.
All right.
But I feel like they've been doing that for years. I don't think it's new.
But if you notice
seems
something
right.
though, like 18 million people, so it's larger than the series finale, but it's such a huge debut. People are talking about too with. So she's a Trump supporter in essence, right? And you look at the late night shows like Colbert and Kimmel, and they've been doing all this anti-Trump stuff, and their ratings have gone up. They kind of took over a little bit of the funny from Fallon, so it's become a very political world that we live in. Except when we do it on this show, it's not the same world. But now this is like the first
we
positive.
just lost 4 people for you even mentioning that.
Fuck them. It's been a positive Trump image on the first show, and it gets 18 million viewers. So does Hollywood now?
Yes, and I'll tell you what.
Start twisting.
Because Fox has already been talking about maybe rebooting that Tim Allen show.
Home Improvement?
No, the other one.
The other one that nobody watched.
Yeah.
God damn it. Anyway, no, but
what is the
look
the
at
man,
Will? Look
man
at
of the, I forgot what it's called.
Look at Will. Will and Grace came back, right?
Right.
They got rebooted,
and apparently I haven't watched it, but apparently the ratings for it are very well.
It's pretty funny too. I've watched a couple episodes.
It's pretty funny. It's just right back to the way it is, but it's anti Trump, and it's doing okay. It's signed on for another 2 seasons, I think, but it's not blowing the doors off anything. Where Roseanne now has come back and now has done 18 million viewers. It's going to be interesting to see how this season goes.
I was going to say
they'll stay there.
Right. So I'm more interested in seeing what Roseanne's what the ratings are in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But what happens
this
if
is the first week it's
Holden?
back after being off for so long? It was a huge show. Like if Seinfeld came back right now, it would be gigantic.
So
you know
here's
what I mean?
the thing. I know
You know
a
what?
lot
It
of,
might be they might do well because everybody else is off for the next 3 weeks.
but
Except
I know a lot of people who are not Trump supporters, right? They're left or they're Democratic, whatever it is, and they all really liked the return of Roseanne, but none of them are talking about it as it being some sort of like pro-Trump TV show. They're talking it's a lot of nostalgia. It's a lot of, well, it makes sense that she's like a lot of that. So I think you have a lot of people on the left enjoying the show despite the undertone. Well, it's really going to matter. What I think is going to happen is I think if it goes too far down that road without finding a balance, you will see a drop off in viewership.
They did balance in the first
of
episode
course.
because they brought up one of the stories is Becky, the original Becky, is looking to be a surrogate mom.
Right.
And the parents have a problem with this once they find out she's using her own eggs. She's not taking the sperm and egg from somebody else and just incubating it. She's injecting her own and going to give birth and then sell. Technically, it's she's
not sell, but she's doing it for a couple
for
that needs
$50,000, right? And they're pissed because this is technically part of their family. They're going to want their grandkid and all that, and that leans on the line. And Jackie is defending Becky and said, Roseanne, you've always been for women's choice, her body, whatever. And you see Roseanne sit there for a moment, and she goes, You're right, Dan. It's her body. She can do what she wants. So they are balancing it out where her woman's issues, all these other things, even though she leans whatever, they're trying to balance it out. By the way, I also heard Norm Macdonald's writing episodes with them.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, I heard something like he's writing 8 episodes out of this season.
I think the problem is people are like, you just need to just watch a show and enjoy it. I think everyone's just watching everything through this fucking political lens right now, and it's so annoying. Just watch the show and enjoy it.
That's the reason why all these award shows have gone so drastically down. People don't want to hear the political bullshit anymore, or what statement or what movement. We get enough of it on a daily basis that these things like the award shows, which we're supposed to enjoy the performances or enjoy the actors, it's all about their political movements or their ideals. But that's also the thing that's going on now with sitcoms. Roseanne might work in that way because if you look at like Will and Grace, it's the main character shitting on like today's political thing, where now they might turn it around as because they're pro-Trump more on Roseanne, they're going to have the other characters that integrate with the show shit on them, and that always kind of happened with Roseanne. They always got shit on, so
right.
Yeah.
Look, and
so it's just a different take.
There is a balance there. There is a balance there that I think a lot of people can just get behind and support if you don't try to make it political. If you just try to make it about a blue-collar family supporting a Republican candidate.
Dude, I'm so pissed. They're not bringing Home Improvement back now?
No, it's the other guy. But Roseanne has said I've seen her on like Extra and Access Hollywood and all these things. They're saying this is what the modern family life is right now. There's people infighting within the family on every side. That's what they're trying to show. They're not, just because she leans one way is not what the show is about. They're showing everything.
We have a strong no politics talk whenever my family gets together because it just goes south real fast.
And also on the show.
Oh yeah,
no Thank you. I was just going to bring that.
Well,
up.
but that's different because I hate everybody who has any right leaning opinions. Okay. So it's different.
As long as it's out there now.
That's different. And it's out there. I'm admitting it. I'm owning up to it.
I always knew that.
That's why I don't like Erik. So, but yeah, look, I think there's a good balance there. I think there is room for it to. I think there's room for it to succeed, and I hope it succeeds. I'm fine with that. I want to watch it.
I'm happy it's back because I was a little skeptical when they said, they were like Hollywood. They were rebooting movies. That when they started rebooting TV shows, you're like, why are they bringing this back? But Will and Grace did very well. Is still doing well. Roseanne, right out the gate, doing very well. So
and there's a bunch more shows coming back that.
With the original cast, if they're not recast and reimagined and whatever, with the original cast, will do well.
Hawaii 5-0,
yeah, well, that's a little different. But they were trying to bring back Cagney and Lacey.
Yeah,
I heard
they're bringing it back. I believe.
Yeah, who cares?
But it's
Can we
not
bring back Hollywood Squares with Tom Bergeron?
But that's not a return. That's a reboot.
John Davidson.
If you get to bring
Shadow Steel as the announcer, Circle gets the square. Gilbert. So anyway, there's enough with that. Before we go, I just want to recommend a couple of things that were on TV this week that you should definitely check out if you have HBO or HBO Go. Go see The Zen Diaries of Garry Shandling. It's 2 hours, 2 parts. So
is
4
this the one
hours.
that Judd Apatow did?
That Judd Apatow put together. It's very well done.
Yeah.
You get to see the whole ins and outs of not only his career but his life. He kept a journal like for almost his entire life. So they're showing passages of his journal, his writings, to mix in with the scenes and the scenarios of what they're doing.
It's on the top of the list.
It's really interesting to check out. And then also, you need to watch Ricky Gervais's Humanity special on Netflix. It is so well done.
It's great.
It's so well done.
I started it and I fell asleep, but I can start it again.
Start it again. It's really good. He just doesn't give a shit.
That's good.
And
It's totally worth it. And people still miss the point.
Yeah.
Because just because the whole special is about Twitter, I joined him on Twitter, and wow, some of them, it's not even jokes. People are just fucking dumb.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's the way it is. And then I know Giddles has been championing this for a while. Tom Segura's new special on Netflix.
Yeah.
I finally got a chance to sit down and watch that a couple of weeks ago. We hadn't talked
pretty
about
funny.
it. Now, it is very funny. Tom did a very good job. And I didn't know much about Tom's comedy other than he runs with Joe Rogan and Bert Kreischer and Ari Shaffir. And I'd see his stuff online. It was very funny. But that was the first special of his I got a chance to sit down and watch. Very good. Finally,
his specials are all pretty good. Like, definitely check them all out. They're good.
And video game people, Far Cry 5 is out now. I know that's a big deal to a lot of people.
Yeah.
The trailer looks pretty good. I just don't know if I have the patience to sit there and try to play it.
Mental note: next week I want to bitch about Sony and PlayStation a little bit.
All right, put it down there.
And I want to recommend Wild Wild Country on Netflix. It's a
I've
six-part
heard about that. What's it about?
It's a six-part documentary series about a cult in the 80s in Oregon. And
is this Far Cry 5?
No,
it's the same
dude.
Thing.
It's fucking. It's batshit insane, dude. You got to see it. It's so crazy. Like, I'm fairly certain that the Simpsons episode with the Movementarians is based on this cult.
All right,
that's funny.
And good news for all you porn fans out there. There's been a big spike, 834% people looking for Fortnite porn. So it's coming. Don't worry.
Porn night.
You know, it was bad enough having to see animated cartoons that were made into sexual situations, but now when you're starting to see Overwatch and now Fortnite,
Pikachu get rammed from behind, yeah,
that's just too much. All right, let's
Blue. Am I right, guys?
He needed the money. Oh, all right, let's get out of here. Do the I almost said do the porn. Do the plugs. Matt OG, what do you have?
You can find me on social media, Geek Stuff OG, and new episodes of Geek Stuff come out every Thursday over at bkgeekstuff.com, or you can search for us in whatever podcast app you use.
How's the Patreon doing?
Patreon is doing well. We live stream our show every Tuesday night now for people in the $10 tier, and it's a lot of fun. It's good stuff.
Good. Check out the fine quality programming over at Big Kev's stuff there. Giddles, what do you have?
Not much. Just Giddle-based Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, and that's pretty much it.
Still doing Overwatch?
That's all I got. Yeah, still playing Overwatch. I'm going to try and play some of this Fortnite, see what it's about.
Yeah, I
played it the other day. I killed like 3 people,
too.
And I felt pretty good about myself. And then I died instantly.
All right, well, let's join a party, and we'll all go play Fortnite.
Like an hour?
Maybe. I got to put this thing together. So.
Oh, the show. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Trevor, do you
and
have
your
anything?
responsibilities.
Just at BTG Trevor on Twitter. I now use it pretty often, so I'm catching up. BTG Rocks on Xbox Live. Play Fortnite. There's so many things they're adding. And this week, the special map, I believe, is just hunting rifles and traps, so I'm just going to pretend like I'm the original Colonel from Jumanji. Try to get
Can you build a hole with leaves on it, and then people just fall into the hole?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know if that's
I want to go old Looney Tunes style.
I don't think that's true.
For me, it's eRock Radio across the board. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Plus, we've done new updates at The Consumer on Instagram, so please check that stuff out. The Consumer in audio form coming soon. Also, our pal...
chewing?
Yes, I'll be sitting there eating everything with no commentary. Our pal Brian Shea from Game Informer is going to be up and running, I think, fairly soon. So the Game Informer updates on this program will be available to you. So that's a lot of fun. For the show, it's Erik Nagel across the board, social media. Subscribe to us anywhere you can find fine quality podcasts. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play. You can also say, hey, Alexa, play the program, It's Erik Nagel. And it will do that for you. Apparently Google Home does it as well. So anywhere you can find us
at CVS.
Right. Please subscribe to the show, and then also tell 2 friends.
Just aisle 7 is Giddles.
There you go. I think that's it, all right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds good to me.
Till the next time, everybody, be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel. And that's all the time we have. Follow the show at It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Unless we do something stupid or something better comes along. We'll be back next time.